What's up, on my Power Ass crew? Today we're installing this little multi-switch right here. This little control panel controls relays out underneath the hood. It helps you declutter a lot of your wiring. Let me show you how to install it. Let's go. So after looking around a few places under the hood, I think I'm going to stick it right beside my airbox here, simply because it's easy access in the event that I'll need to change out a relay or any of my fuses. It's got a 30 amp here, a 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. I'm going to hook my contactor for my winch up into this thing right here, so that way I can easily push that button and activate my winch. A winch contactor is way down yonder, and the way I've got it wired in is that my big battery cable here that goes to the battery, it goes to that contactor, then it comes off another post off that contactor to the battery. The contactor itself is what distributes the voltage to the winch. Therefore, I can just take one small wire and be able to turn my winch power on and off. That's going to be a safety feature in the event that I'm going down the road and I hit a deer or something like that, and it gets up into the grill. This hot cable is going to be dead here until I hit the power button to activate that contactor. The contactor closes, activates some power to the winch. So that's a safety feature instead of using a big, huge, massive fuse or something like that. And that's why I want my relay box over here, so I can get to my fuses as needed. The contactor for my winch, it only takes less than an amp to close that contactor up. So this having 30s and 20s in it, I can pull one of these 20s out, put a 5 in, and I'm properly fused for that circuit. And if I put one of my big light bars in, it takes 8 amps to pull it. I can pull one of these 20s out, put a 10 in. You put your appropriate size fuse for the accessory that you'll want to install. Now, if you decide to put your box right here, I used a small body drill because that gets me in between the grill support bar and the air box, or you can pop that top of the air box off, make it easier to get to. I've drilled for a 1/4 20 bolt. A lot of people will say, well, put in some self-tappers, but here's the deal. Right there's my tire. If I was to go into full stuff, I'm going to get my tire up into a self-tapping screw head sticking through there. I don't think so, bro. So if you take a 1/4 20, the head down here, run the bolt up through it like that, you're not going to damage your tire in case you go into full stuff and you're out wheeling. If you've got this single black wire coming out of the box, that's going to be your ground, your chassis ground. And the bolt I'm using to hold the box in place, I just grounded it out with it. But if you want to test, make sure you got a good ground. Take your meter, put it over here where you see this symbol like this right here. Kind of looks like a little triangle with lines or whatever. That's your continuity. It's going to put out a sound when you touch the leads together. Listen. Get up here closer to the camera, might pick it up. You hear that beep? That means I got continuity across my leads. So what you do is you touch one lead, doesn't matter which one, to the bolt where you got your ground wire bolted to the chassis there, and touch any place else. Like I'm touching on the master cylinder right now. You can hear I've got that sound. Bolt on the fender down here. So as long as you can touch anywhere that's going to have a ground circuit somewhere, you're good to go. Touch down here where you see. See? We got ground. So I've also taken my big power cable coming out of the box. It's already tied up here. Then on through the loom right there. It's running across over there. I'm going to connect it to the hot post of the battery over there. Make sure you tie your wire up with wire ties, whatever, so you don't get down into the engine. So here's the wire loom going over to the relay box. I incorporated it into this fuse block here, which ties into the battery on this cable right here. Your rig probably will not have this unless you've been watching any of my past videos and you mimicked what I did. This right here goes to a auxiliary fuse block inside my Jeep. I'll link the video up where you guys can check that out. But what I did, I tied the wire that goes inside my Jeep and this wire harness together as one lug and put it in right there, so I didn't have to tie another post, another lug right here to my battery cable. So I've got that straight. Now here's the hot wire, which is actually an accessory wire that goes through this loom right here and goes to an accessory on your fuse block. So doing an accessory on your fuse block, you got to figure out which one of these posts in here is hot only when the key is on. Let me show you how that's done. So get you a multimeter, and we're going to set it on DC voltage. This particular meter right here is one I keep in the Jeep all the time. and it's got like a 1.5, 9 volt, 12 volts. Pretty simple meter to use. I'll link one up below, so if you want one, you can get you one. Let me show you how it works. Take the black lead of your multimeter, touch it to the negative side of the battery array. Then we come down to the power distribution center and start finding some voltage. We're going to touch that one first for the kicks and giggles. Look at that, 12.26. We got full-time voltage on that lead. Touch this one right here. Beside that, we got full-time voltage on that one as well. Interesting. Then we start touching these. I know the pinouts of these relay plugs because I've dealt with these 5-pin Bosch so much. So I know that this lead and this lead goes to your accessories. Like if you're going to run a light off this particular module right here, this will be where your lights will plug into. So I'm touching over here on this contact on this side of this open one. Do I get voltage? No voltage. Come over on this side. Am I getting voltage? No voltage. And what about this one? No voltage. So I'm going to turn my key on and see what we get. All that beating and banging you're hearing in the background, that's like acres of construction going on down at the end of my street. Yay me. Alright, so now we got the key turned on. Do we have voltage? Touch right here. No voltage there. Come over here. We got voltage there, 11.3. So right there where my red lead is stuck at, we can use that for the accessory for this. So to give you guys a close-up of what I was probing around with, these two right here were hot with the key off. This is your typical pinout for a 5-pin Bosch relay that you plug in for like a fuel pump. You can see right there, you might see it, yeah, FP, fuel pump. And so this side right here is normally your switched side, meaning when you turn the key on, this circuit right here is what turns on the relay. This side right here, you know, it's like it turns on here, completes the connection here. Your hot power comes in here, jumps to these two right here, which completes the circuit. But it depends on the configuration of the circuit on exactly how these three right here work. But this is going to be your switch side and this purpose right there. Plug it in. Sweet. Need to get the cover off my Cherokee and put on that to cover it up. Sometime. So now that we got power taken care of on the battery, we come over here to these. Notice there's number 2, number 3, so on and so on. They're numbered in correspondence to the panel, your push button panel. And I've already got set up on channel 1 right here. That's going to be running the contactor for my winch. So I push the button for channel 1, it closes the contactor on my winch. Sweet. I already put my sticker on there indicating my winch, and it goes like this with the wire exiting out the bottom. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, 4, 5, 6, the way it rolls. But nothing right now. Let me go turn the key on. See how we got the light shine through now that we got the key on? Listen. That's my contactor closing that's down inside there that activates my winch. Sweet, it works. Now when you put your decals on, be very careful because they're super sticky. Get over here and line them up as close as you can on this side over here and kind of roll the sticker into the rest of the button. Because I don't know if you can tell right there, I had to trim that one a little bit. I got it a little bit off over the edge, and it kept wanting to hang up on the switch. So I had to take my X-Acto knife and trim that out a little bit. But yep, just kind of, once you get down there, take your fingernail, run around the edges of it, mash it down good. They're super sticky. Now, see, winch is definitely, that's just to activate the winch. Windshield, I'll put my light bar back in action. I mean, it's up there, but I just don't have it wired in. Backup, I've got a backup light mounted on this thing. It just I hadn't had the wiring run to it yet. Rock lights, those rock lights I've got under right now, they're terrible. I don't like them. So I'm going to take them out, put some good ones in, but that's going to activate those. Bumper, I'm going to rebuild my bumper. If you guys want to see me build a bumper from scratch, I mean scrap metal. If you guys want to see me build one from scrap metal, hit me down in the comments. I'll show you guys how I'm going to do my front bumper, redo it for my winch and all that stuff. Just built out of metal you go buy at the yard or wherever, or if you've got scrap metal laying around, let me know in the comments. So that's going to be my bumper light. I'm also thinking about running those knuckle lights too. And I think for the knuckle lights, I'm either going to run like off-road or that off-road. I don't know. That's kind of cool looking, honestly. Anyway, it's got some cool stickers to label up what you need. So I ran through the firewall and stopped it right here and bundled the rest of it up out there. I'll show you in just a moment. Stop that right there because this has, you know, all that flat ribbon cable that'll unfold. Plug into that and stick it wherever you need to. But just for right now, I'm not going to stick it anywhere at the moment until I really make up my mind. But I think right there's a good spot for me right now because I've got my 3 toggle switches here, 3 rockers. And that activates these 2 switches. Turn that on, it powers these 2 switches. This right here starts the Jeep. This right here runs my onboard air. This one was running the contactor that activated my winch, but I took it off that and now it's on this. So you just figure out where you want it. It comes with some 2-sided sticky tape in a bracket. It comes with 2-sided sticky tape you put right here and go right there if you want to, or wherever you decide to put it. I'll let you decide that. I was noticing as I was pushing the buttons that, you know, it changes different colors when you push it. So the winch, notice how it's more green and the rest of them are yellow? Well, I would have assumed that was off. But let me go check my winch. Okay, the winch is off. Get back under here, push the button again. Get back here. Okay, I hear the contactor pop. Come back out here to the winch. I need to make me another controller. That thing busted. So now I got power to my winch. So when they're all lit up that color, they're on. So it means those are off like this now, and that is on, and that's off. Let's go check the winch one more time. Yep, dead winch. So we have confirmed if they're green, it's off. Yellow is on. Cool. You can see with the switch on, it's lit up like that. And also, I turn my ignition switch off, turns off. Well, it should be. And this has accessory wire that you've got wired after into the fuse block outside that does all that. Cool. Now that we got it all wired up and functional, I'm not going to stick it anywhere just yet. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I keep thinking maybe right here because that's a good place to tuck it in. And it appears that my door is going to clear it. Let me jump up in here and see. So I've got, yeah, it'll go. I mean, it's a little tight, but it'll work right there. It's out of the way, no place to hang it on my legs. I kind of like that spot right there. I think it's where I may end up putting it. And there's also a choice. You can stick it up here, but I don't like that because it's up in my face. I don't want to do anything over here. I did think about sticking it under here. So it's a possibility. I mean, it's down and out of the way, but it's kind of like I got to scrunch over a little bit to see where my buttons are, what I'm pushing. So, I do believe right there may be where I end up putting it. I like that. Of course, I was pushing the buttons on this thing, trying to figure out which one's on and off, all that fun stuff. And simply because I don't have no lights pre-wired up, ready to hook to the relay system, so the only thing I have is my winch. Now I can hear the contactor closing every time I did it, but I just wanted to confirm, hey, which position was on and off, so the contactor wouldn't stay closed all the time, therefore pulling juice from the battery. Of course, at this point, watch this. Contactor closed, and also we got a different color, that's yellow, those are green. Turn off my ignition switch, and I heard my contactor open back up. So therefore, when I turn off my ignition, it opened up the contactor, now my winch is turned off. Obviously, it's going to be the same situation with lights. If you've got the power turned on and you turn off your ignition, which therefore turns off the accessory side of that relay box, it's going to turn off all your lights as well. So, I'm going to turn on my ignition again. Look at that. Still yellow, which means my contactor's still closed for my winch. Right there, turned it off. Yay! So everyone, if you enjoyed this video and you learned a little something from it, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and leave me some cool comments down below or some requests down below. Everyone, appreciate you hanging out. Peace. Later, y'all.